Everybody, welcome to our Facebook Live. We're going to be baking scones with Emily and her family. We're not going to start just yet. We're just getting some stuff ready, prep. You'll see Emily working on some prep work herself. But just want to get the live stream going. Feel free to message us with some questions that you may have. I put some descriptions already in there about what we're going to be doing. Also, in a recent post, we put a recipe list of things that you'll be needing to bake the scones. And actually, it's going to be pretty simple. It's probably everyday things you already have in your kitchen. You don't need eggs. You don't need certain things that are very volatile right now and aren't able to find and probably back ordered in the grocery stores. And so be on the lookout for that. If there's any questions, feel free to message us in the comment section. I know there's going to be a Zoom live as well, so you can join us on either Facebook or Zoom. And we'll be aware, or we'll do our best to be aware of your comments or anything that comes up. But sit back, relax a little bit. Hopefully you're taking a break from work or school or just life in general, and you'll be able to learn how to bake scones from a professional. And so we'll get into it right at 2 p.m. Don't mind us as we get a little prepped on certain other things. We'll take it from there.
I know you're so excited.
10 ounces.
The two.
I'll get it.
The baby, wake up, Mom.
I know. All right.
Are we ready?
What you want to think?
Are we ready? Okay.
Oh, you want all of it? What are you doing? You're gonna fall off.
Over. Hey, I'm gonna do this. I'm super strong. Look.
Yeah, you are super strong. Yeah. We're not gonna be playing with this, okay?
Hey, Mom, it looks like it's late.
It does look like it's late.
Now, you're going to use all these spoons?
The are gonna use all this.
Were we making fun of
We're gonna make some scones.
scones?
Yeah. You remember when we make scones?
And powdered sugar? Oh, you could.
Alrighty. It's 2 p.m. Thank you for wherever you're joining us, whether it be Zoom or Facebook. We're doing a live webinar, Will and Friends Live. And the premise behind this is just we're all sheltering in place. Somebody was saying we're hibernating in place for a period of time right now. And we want to be active. We still want to learn. We still want to be able to live life. How will we be able to do that with the networking that we do have? And so we know Emily here. She's a over screen a little bit. She's a professional baker. She's been doing that for the past 10 years, and she is so nice enough. Her and her family, her husband, her 3 kids, are nice enough to allow us into her home and show us how to bake scones. So, Emily, I'll pass the baton to you. You can introduce yourself. Who's supporting you in the background there, and then we can learn about how to bake scones.
All right. Hi, guys. I'm Emily. These are my children. I have Liam. Let's see. Why don't you come back to your stool? Liam is my oldest. Oh, he enjoys baking with me. We have Oliver, who likes to touch everything. And then we've got Charles back here, just woke up, and my husband Adam. So we enjoy baking scones together, right, guys? Well, they enjoy it probably a little bit more than I do, only because they are so excited to do it. So what we're gonna start with is I prefer to weigh everything. You get a little bit more of an accurate outcome when you weigh everything. And so I weighed out my flour for a pound of flour. And when you weigh dry things, you typically want to weigh in grams. I know I have pound on there, which is perfectly fine. But if you really want to get specific, you go with grams. All right, buddy, stop. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and add our dry
Emily, before you start putting or adding those things, or you can add it, but in regards to the ingredients, these are everyday ingredients that we're probably have in our home right now. We don't need to be able to use eggs or certain other products that most baked goods need.
Right, yeah, so we've got sugar that Oliver just poured in. I use like an organic sugar, just my preference, but you can use whatever sugar you have. You could probably exchange it with monk fruit sugar. I think it's fine.
Where do you normally get it? Where do you normally get your products?
I normally just get them from the grocery store, whether it's like Stater Brothers or Trader Joe's or Sprouts. Yeah, that's another one. Sometimes I do end up ordering, like my chocolates, I order on Amazon right now because it's easily accessible.
Right.
But yeah, just the regular grocery store.
Oh, good. That's good to know. It's very comforting to know that even professional chefs and bakers or pastry chefs are able to get normal everyday products just like everyone else.
Get up there. Yeah, it's good. Liam, you're making the camera shake. Sorry.
All good. Feel free to continue taking them away.
Okay. So come here, buddy. We want to put some stuff in. Oliver is mixing for us, apparently. You gotta put in the salt. I use sea salt just because it's a little bit better, I think, than regular salt. But that's just my opinion. Stop. Okay, and then we have our teaspoon of baking soda and our 2 teaspoons of baking powder. Here, boys, put it in there. There we go. All right, so we're done with those. You want to mix that up? Yeah, so if I need specialty products, sometimes I have to look a little bit farther out for them. Like Mother's Market has stuff like specialty purees. So does like Bristol Farms, or sometimes you have to look online for those too. But if you want specialty purees, but otherwise, I try to use everything that you could find at a grocery store. And stop. Okay, yeah, you mixed in all those dry ingredients. So you're gonna mix up the dry ingredients and splatter it all over the kitchen floor. It's cool, guys. And then we'll go ahead and mix our. So if you don't have buttermilk, or that's kind of hard to find, you can use milk with lemon juice or vinegar, white vinegar. So you can mix those together and it creates buttermilk. We'll just stir that up. Leave it for a second. I meant to do that earlier. That's good. Oliver, thank you so much for trying to clean up, but you're making it worse. All right, so we'll go ahead. I have my butter cold in cubes, so it's like about, I don't know, 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch if you really want to get specific, but it can go even smaller than that. And we're gonna put that in there. And we're gonna just crumble it in there, kind of squeeze it together. Goodness, you guys. And what we're getting to is a pea-sized consistency with the butter, mixed in with the flour and the dry ingredients that we added there.
It's really cool that you're able to get your kids involved in helping out with everything that they're doing right now.
Yeah, it's growing on me. I'll tell you that. It doesn't always go so smooth. I'm somebody who likes to have a very clean spot, or station, or whatever you want to call it. So when I add the kids in here, it makes me take down those walls a little bit.
Well, they're able to participate in the scone making, the fruit of their labor in that sense, so they'll be able to enjoy that.
Yeah, definitely. They do, like Oliver here likes to go grocery shopping and pick out things like broccoli and carrots, and then he does end up eating stuff more so. Huh. We allow you to cook with us, you need it, huh?
So that must be a trick on how kids eat vegetables. They have to pick it out, and if they pick it out, then they're more likely to eat it.
Yep, exactly. So this kind of takes a minute. I kind of forgot it takes a minute, especially with multiple hands and I'm trying to. The only reason I don't do this on a mixer is you can easily overmix and it'll get to a dough-like consistency and then you don't have the correct consistency and you'll get more tough scones. But we're almost there and then we're gonna get even messier.
Even messier?
Yeah. What do you think about that?
This is what a baker does?
Yeah, they do this, or they make bread, or they make cookies.
They make chocolate cookies or banana.
Or vanilla cookies. Yeah, they can, huh?
And Emily, what inspired you to want to do scones?
They're just easy, and I mean, I made them once for my husband's fire department, and they just love them. So we get asked for them a lot, but they're just easy, and they're, yeah, kids can get in on them, and it's something that is good to wake up to and have a scone in the morning with your coffee. And these ones are nice and cakey. They're not as dense as some other places you can get them at. I won't mention any names, but you can get them a little bit more densely in other places. But that's big production scones. You want to tell them something? Okay.
We have a bunk bed.
You have a bunk bed? Are you on the top bunk or the bottom bunk?
All the things. You want to talk about your bunk bed right now? Okay, let's get our hands out of here and check the consistency of this. Okay.
Do it over the.
All right. All right.
Over the
So
bowl,
we're pretty much there. It's kind
Over
of
the bowl, over the bowl, over the bowl.
kind of like a cornmeal almost with the pea-sized amount of butter. If you find some bigger chunks, you can break them up between your fingers. But otherwise, this consistency is pretty good to go. All right, buddy. Now back up. All right,
Wash
here
off
comes
over the bowl,
over the bowl, babe. All right, so then next we're gonna add our mock buttermilk here.
Okay.
Lovely.
Whoa.
All right.
Then we begin that.
Don't touch it.
Then we get to do. How about mommy does the part? You gotta kind of mix it in. This part's messy.
No, it's.
Dad doesn't want you doing this one because he has to clean you up. It won't look so much like buttermilk. The thickness won't be the same, but you get the acidity in there. And the scones will still turn out just fine, huh? All right, so this is the sticky part. You can wear gloves for this if you want to keep your hands from getting super doughy like mine. But you just want to mix it just until all the dry stuff's mixed in. So, yeah, there we go. And then Liam, do you want to help me out and pour those chocolate chips in there?
Yeah.
What kind of chocolate chips do you guys like to usually get?
So this is, I normally get them from Costco. However, I ran out. And so we are using Calabat, which is it's a Belgian chocolate. I would never normally put this in my scones because they're a little bit more expensive. However, we're going to do it today. And these are milk chocolate chips, so it'll be a little bit different. Go ahead.
Is it just more so preferential then? Or is it usually is there a particular chocolate that's better for this type of product?
Just typical semi-sweet chocolate is fine. You can always intermix it with fruits. Another one, no, we don't eat while we bake. Another one that we like to do is with apple chunks. So just dicing up a cup of apples and putting it in there. It does take a little bit longer to bake because of the moisture in the apples.
I can do it.
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
Um,
Go for it, dude.
So we typically do chocolate chips, apples. You can do we've done peaches. Yeah, we've done peaches, and then what's another one we've done? I think we've done like cherries and
We did the
you can do
cinnamon.
dried
We put
fruits.
cinnamon with the apple.
yeah, you can do cinnamon apple. There's a lot of things you can do with it that makes it a little bit more fun and different flavors. You can always do different toppings too. Like today we'll do just a simple powdered sugar and vanilla one. But otherwise, you can do powdered sugar, cinnamon, and vanilla, or chocolate, or ganache, or okay. All right, guys, I think we're done mixing for now. Okay. All right.
Good job, guys.
So you can put various flavors in there and be good.
Put it in the bowl, buddy. Put it in the bowl.
Oh boy. All right.
There you go.
Now we have all this dough all over our hands. Maybe we can ask Daddy to get the flour out. I'm sorry, I forgot. We all have doughy hands. So hire Daddy right now. Huh? There we go.
Have you ever eaten dough off of your hands?
I try not.
Well,
I
right.
try not to. Cookie dough is different. Scone dough, not so much. You have to be careful though too with uncooked or unbaked flour can actually upset your stomach quite a bit. It's not so much the fear of the salmonella from eggs or anything in cookie dough. It's actually the flour. That's good. But if you want to make edible cookie dough, you can make your cookie dough like an eggless cookie dough, and you can make an eggless cookie dough and do bake the flour for like 10 minutes just by itself before you put it in, and then it's usually okay. So we're gonna pour it out onto a floured surface. And we're gonna flatten it out. Oh boy. All right, guys. Okay. Oh, no. We're not gonna squish it.
We go
Okay,
flat.
we want to flatten it. You just squish it. Okay. Liam, okay, enough. This is the part where maybe you don't want your kids to be involved in this part. Because you want it pretty well floured and not squished into the table, or it's going to be harder to get off. All right. And you never want to put dough down your sink unless you want to have a plumber come visit you a year from now to discover you have chunks of dough in your pipes. Don't put your dough down the sink.
A big no-no. No dough down the sink unless you want problems. And
Right.
want to pay a hefty plumber's bill.
Right. And so instead, okay, we're done. So instead you can put flour in your hands and kind of do it over the trash can. Over the trash can. Okay. So
What do you
do if you have questions maybe or oh no buddy, stop. We're done. Okay. Sorry. All right. I'm gonna clean up my hands real quick along with my boys, and then we'll be right there. Okay. Do you wanna maybe jump in there?
Jump in there with the baby and just
Come here, boys.
look.
Do it.
Say hi.
Thanks so much, Adam. Appreciate you allowing us to be in your home in this way.
Oh yeah, no, it's fun. It gives the kids something to do in these crazy times. So
For sure.
oh yeah. All right, go to mom. Just
And I know you're a firefighter as well, so thank you so much for your service there.
oh no, thank you. Yeah, of course. No, I love doing it. So it's just crazy times. So we're all working hard for it. So.
For sure. What are you seeing out in the front lines?
I work in a city in Orange County, so we haven't been, I wouldn't say hit with it. It's coming. But we're seeing guys in LA County departments getting hit with it. So we're trying to do our best to stop any type of thing where we get spread to us or we take it home to our families. So
Right.
it's a little stressful, obviously, with the kids and stuff like that. But it's to the point where we have different clothes that we have to wear on the fire engine versus in the station, or we have to bleach the station twice a day. And then we're even going to the point where we might change our schedule so that it'll be like there's science behind putting us in more cluster of days and then having us off for a certain amount of days to hopefully stop the spread, or we can notice the symptoms earlier. So we're taking advantage of the wave coming from the east to the west. Unfortunately, it's other people have to learn from it, but we're trying to prevent that. But in the meantime, we get to take advantage of her good baking that I get to take this station.
I'm sure your fellow colleagues are like, let's hope these are good because I'm going to eat them.
Oh yeah, no, the guys at work, I just got transferred from one of our biggest stations that's 12 guys, and then now I'm at a station of 4 guys. So the big general population was pretty mad that I went to a smaller station.
I can't see you.
Oh, excuse you. We don't talk to mom like that, buddy.
So now I'm just cutting them into triangles. I cut my circle in half. You can put these on a sheet pan with. I have a silk hat because I prefer those. But you can use parchment, or you can just spray your pan. And probably about an inch apart. I'll show you in just a second. And I kind of do them every other on the triangular part so that you can fit more. Buddy, back up.
What's that tool that you have right there? I'm a baker novice.
Oh, this is a bench scraper.
Okay.
So this is something that I use on almost everything. It helps clean up, and then it also helps cut. It has a nice sharp edge on it, so you get pretty good. And this one does have a roller. Not all of them have rollers, but it allows you to cut your stuff pretty good. Clean up. When I do chocolates, it helps temper the chocolate. And then, okay, so we have them kind of just spread out like that. They're not all even. They don't have to be. It's better if they're more even. They bake all evenly, but
When
you're baking with kids, it's okay.
Make the icing.
Yeah.
Can
Remember?
I put it in there?
If you use like a silpat, you don't have to spray it. If you don't use a silpat, you must spray your pan.
Let's spray you.
What do you normally do? What do you normally use to spray?
Hey, Mom, the
I
flag.
try to use like a butter kind of a spray, but right now I think I have a canola oil spray. I know, I'm sorry. There's flour all over the kitchen now. But yeah,
We'll have to send the crew to help clean up.
I know, right? It's a little messy. All right, so yeah, so I usually take your station or table this way, but for now we'll go ahead. I have my oven set to 350, and we'll just throw those in there.
That's a traditional oven, right?
Yeah, you can use traditional or convection. I go back and forth. I'm using traditional today, and we'll set that, say, for 12 minutes. Let's see how that goes. So yeah, so you can use traditional or convection. If you use convection, you typically want to higher the degrees just a little bit. Oh, you want to put that down? Okay. Like that. Oh my goodness, really good.
I'm sure things are a little messy over there.
It's pretty messy. Our trash can has like buttons to push to open and close, and you can't even see the buttons right now.
Do you normally or do you recommend for families who are having their kids be involved for baking like this? Do you put stuff on the floor so it's a little easier, or
No,
it's up to you, personal preference?
I think it's up to you. We have tiles, so I just kind of accept the mess and I'll clean it up later.
Nice. And as we wait for, is there anything that you're doing in preparation for the scones to come out?
Yeah, we can go ahead and make our topping here after we get this cleaned up. Here, buddy. So let's clean this up just a little bit, and then we'll get. Can you get the vanilla down by chance?
I can try with this.
I can. Let me see. I typically use a little bit better vanilla, but I was given this vanilla, so I will use it until it's gone. But I usually use like the Madagascar vanilla.
A snake coming to you.
Huh?
Snake.
Man, I'll go with squishy.
You want to squish the snake?
Yeah.
I'm trying to get my hands cleaned up a little bit here. So what do you guys like about baking?
Good.
Oh, it's good? It's good?
Yeah, I love the big all day with Grandma.
Oh, yeah. Did you bake with Grandma?
Yeah, and then he make rolls.
She made cinnamon rolls, yes.
Grandma made cinnamon rolls.
Right? Do you really like those cinnamon rolls? Are those your
Yeah,
favorite?
we were helping her.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was rolling it and cutting it.
Was she rolling and cutting it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Then what did we do with the cinnamon?
Daddy took him to the fire station.
They're hungry over there. You gotta feed them in.
Mom?
Yeah.
Can I help?
And Emily, as you're preparing some of the toppings, tell us a little bit about your background in regards to being a pastry chef. I know you've been doing it for almost you were a professional pastry chef for almost 10 years, or close to 10 years. What places have you worked at? What was your schooling like?
Guys, this is not for you to put your fingers in. Sorry. So I started out, when you start out in the pastry world, I mean, you have to really earn your spot, especially in the kitchen. But started out at Blackberry Farm. Well, started out at Tiny Bakery to start really. I don't really include that as super professional because it was my internship. And then moved out to Tennessee, and I worked at Blackberry Farm. There we go. And sorry. Let's get down. Worked at Blackberry Farm for a bit, and got to really grow there. I was challenged to make three different cookies for every season. So summer, spring, winter, fall. 3 different cookie recipes, and I have way too much vanilla. And then 3 different kinds of desserts for every season as well. So I would, I don't know, that's 9 different things, or no, 6 different things, and then 3 other, so nine different recipes per season, because then I make desserts for the weekend. So that one, yeah, go ahead. That was probably the best place to be challenged and to grow, because I was constantly forced to be creative. And
how does that work? Because you're working 8-hour, 10-hour day, making recipes, serving your diners and those who coming in. But then how do you find time to be creative and learn about different things that you, in regards to cookies or baked goods?
So we had a team who did different things. So I was on lunch and veranda menu. So when we have veranda on the weekend, or lunch out on the veranda, or brunch, that was my focus. And we had other people doing breads and dinner desserts. And so during that time, it was my sole job was to come up with these things. So I'd have a nice Excel spreadsheet every day. It was usually 10-hour days, and would do just work the straight 10 hours most of the time, and come up with different things. So I would go home and think of different flavors to put together. And then the next day come back with, okay, I have X, Y, and Z to do today. And just knock that out. And then we'd have so like the cookies, for example, I would make a huge batch of probably about 500 or so cookies. And then you pull those, so you don't have to, did you just put lemon juice in here? So you don't have to make the cookies every day. You have prep of things, so you have time to do those. Let's not put lemon juice in there. So that's how I had time to do those things.
I see.
Sorry.
And then what are you doing right now?
I am making powdered sugar with vanilla. I put in, it's probably okay. So I put in enough. There's really no measurements, to be honest. You put in like maybe a 1/4 cup of powdered sugar to maybe like a teaspoon or 2 teaspoons of vanilla. And you just want like a nice smooth consistency, kind of a little thick, but not too thick. For people who have made like royal icing, that's usually a much thicker consistency. And then I'll ever add lemon juice, which is not supposed to be added. That's okay. Oh, are we sad?
Oliver, can you
Take
put
your
in?
turn.
Oliver?
Here, I'll fix this. How about you each can mix it? You can't overmix this, so if your kids need a job to do, they can mix up the frosting there.
How long are you supposed? When do you know when you're done mixing it?
When it's smooth. So when there's no more powdered sugar lumps. So you'll see it's like just a nice smooth.
Down butter.
Hold on, please. Can I please have that? Thank you. So when you have like a nice, there's no chunks in there.
Makes sense. Is there usually a technique? I'm sure there is a technique on how you mix it well.
Whisking it or with a fork is usually pretty easy. This one's not too much, doesn't need too much of a technique, only because it's just 2 ingredients, and this is probably the most simple icing you can make. Huh. Yeah? Is it pretty simple?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm making
You can always add more powdered sugar if it's too
Mom,
thin,
I'm making race
or
track.
more liquid if it's too thick. I would never mix milk with it, only because if you leave your scones out overnight, then you have sour icing on the scones in the morning. So you don't really want that. Huh. Good job, guys.
When you were at Blackberry Farm, did you make scones there as well?
A little bit, not so much. I wasn't really on breakfast pastries as often. We made more like monkey bread, so the full apart cinnamon sugar bread, or brioche rolls, or what? No, we're not licking.
No.
Or let me think. I made a lot of cookies. There was
You made a lot of breads too.
a lot of breads too. That wasn't my primary job there, but the breads, we made a lot of artisan breads, which was a lot of fun. Those are the ones with unique designs and whatnot, because we'd also make stuff for farmers market. But we made buttermilk biscuits all the time, which was, I did do those quite often. And those were pretty good. Yeah. But scones, I guess not so much now I think about it. Muffins. We made a lot of muffins. This is a good sensory thing
I'm
for them too.
making a choo-choo track.
Yeah.
I'm making a track.
Are you making a trap?
And I'm making a whirlpool.
Oh yeah.
What are some tips that parents should be aware of when they involve kids in helping them bake?
Yeah. He's over here whispering, wash their hands. Definitely a highlight of them. Definitely wash their hands. Make sure they're not putting things in their mouths if like raw things, kind of like the flour. I guess I might be a little bit more stingy on that, only because it can upset their stomachs. But and then eggs, there is a risk. It's not very high of the salmonella. It's kind of surprising when it comes up.
More the shells.
It's more the shells, yeah. So obviously, if you're doing the cracking and the pouring of the eggs, then it's not so much of an issue. If the kids are doing that, then you definitely have to watch for shells.
Look at we saw a snail.
You saw a snail, and then definitely have extra patience, which is something that was very hard for me. But going in with it with the mindset of it might not turn out the same way that you want, and that's okay.
It's part of the learning process, right? It's not about the product or the finished product of it, but it's more of the process of being able to work together.
Yeah, and you got to be okay with the mess. I am learning that slowly, but we're getting there. Huh.
I'm guessing they're going to probably be taking baths today, huh?
Oh yes, they just had a shower from playing outside, so they'll be extra clean by the end of the day, I'm sure.
Right.
I'm making the track.
Yeah. The powdered sugar does stick really well with wood, so if you put it on like a wood table and then try to wipe it up with a paper towel, sometimes the paper towel will get left behind and then you have to scrape it up. So that's definitely something to watch out for. Okay, so they're almost done. We're looking for them to be like a nice golden brown. Huh. Oh, no. The flour doesn't go in there. The flour doesn't go in there. Okay. Let's not put flour in the powder here.
Look at this.
Oh, what's in there? What did you guys get in there? Well, good thing we're not giving these to anybody. We'll see.
At the same time, if you guys have any leftovers, I can swing by. I'll
Yeah.
get a
Right.
little driver to pick up the food for us.
Right. Yeah, you see the frosting? No, don't touch it. We don't want to put our fingers in the icing.
So Emily, now I know that you're making a lot of your own products, whether that be just word of mouth or just giving it to friends, or if people are asking for the wedding or wedding cakes or things like that. What's the best way to be able to get a hold of you to be able to get certain products? So what kind of products do you make?
Stop it,
I've done a few wedding cakes, a lot of baby shower cakes, birthday cakes. I've done a lot of those. So. Oh yeah, I do have my business card. He just got you. I'm sorry. But email or Instagram or Facebook. Oh, I need to switch that around. But the bottom part, I just changed it. That's okay. But right there, I don't know if that's clear. But there's my number. You can text or call, just not after like 8 o'clock. I won't answer you.
We'll be posting some of that information in our comment section, or if people are interested and want to message us, they can provide that information there. But yes, don't be messaging super early or super late at night, because you have a family of 5 to take care of.
I usually put it on Do Not Disturb anyway, so it's usually okay. But yeah, and then I do chocolates as well, so kind of like Steve's candy, but better, I would say. And so those are lots of fun. Right now, with everything going on though, since Adam is in the fire department, I'm kind of holding off of doing too much, only because of the high risk exposures and whatnot. I don't really know how if it travels through food. I would hope not, but for future ones like summer, I would definitely be interested in what people would like to have done for sure.
Is there a certain pastry that you like making the most?
Yeah, cheesecakes are one that I really enjoy making. But lately I have been working more so on my chocolates, which I know that I saw a couple people hop on that have had them, so they can attest they're fairly good.
Watch out! Watch where you put your fork.
So these, okay, so these look like they are, so the bottoms of them, hope I don't burn my face, there you go. The bottoms of them will be nice and, don't move over, and golden, if I can, it's a little hot, let's see. Nice and golden, I don't know if you can see that, hopefully. No, it's really hot. So the, it's really hot, babe. So nice and golden, they're done, and we'll go ahead and let those cool. It's okay.
It's fine. It's okay. We'll clean it up later.
Okay. You can get them a little bit.
Let them cool.
Huh?
How long do you let them cool for?
Maybe like 10 minutes or so, or maybe not that long. Especially for today's purpose. I can actually put them on our countertop. Let's see. And they'll cool a little faster.
No.
Hey guys, that's not very nice. Keep it inside. Keep it inside the bowl, please. Inside the bowl. That was actually pretty accurate. I was pretty impressed when she kept it on the cork. Can you keep it in the bowl, please?
Let's see here. There we go. So if you have like granite or quartz countertop, the heat will actually be absorbed into there and it'll cool it off faster.
Okay.
If you put it on granite or quartz, it'll cool it off faster because that colder surface is dripping. But so that's what I did with this one. And then that way we can go ahead and ice them really quick. These aren't really all that dirty. Let's see.
So we're getting a question from our live viewers. Can you ask her if it's always okay to put more than one baking sheet in the oven at once? Is it okay to put more than one baking sheet in the oven at once?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, typically the baking sheet on the bottom will bake a little bit slower than the one on the top, but it's okay to do that. You can just leave the bottom one in there a little bit longer if you want. I could have baked my bottom one a little bit longer, but that's okay. Yeah. If you're doing things like if you're doing more intense things like a chiffon cake or things that have egg whites in them, you typically want them to all bake evenly. So I wouldn't necessarily do it then, but for simple things like this, it's totally okay. Even for some cakes too, you just leave it in a little longer. Hey buddy, when you stand right there, it makes the camera shake and get down. Why don't you come stand on this one? Or do you want to come stand right here? You want to come stand next to me? Is that what you want? Yeah, so that's okay. You can put it in, you can put more than one in there.
And then Emily, for yourself, just even getting into being a pastry chef, how did you build your passion? How did you get into this? Were you like from the womb learning how to bake or liking pastries, or what was that like?
No, I mean, I always enjoyed it, but my first choice would have been, you're all dirty. Do you want to go wash your hands? How about you go wash them in the bathroom? You want to take the stool and wash them in the bathroom? Okay, well, that water's a little bit noisy. Hold on. I know you want to. Can you go do it? Come on. Go help it. Go do it. So I, oh, shh. Don't do that. Okay. So I originally wanted to get a psych degree, but that's a little expensive to go to a 4-year and do that. So instead, I was looking at it, and culinary school was a lot less, and went ahead and found that I actually really enjoyed it a lot, and I'm much more of a hands-on learner than anything else, so I was able to actually ace my test.
Nice. Was there anything in preparation for culinary school that you can say, like, I can test it out to see if it is a good fit before investing in it or committing to it?
No. There, at least for the culinary school, you can't really test it out. I guess I could have tested it out at home if I wanted, maybe, or gone to community college instead and seen. But going to community college then meant going to like math and science classes that were just not, I wasn't going to do well in. So at the time.
You knew your strengths and the things that you had opportunities to grow in.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Like now, if you talk to me about the science of chocolate, sure, I'm totally into that. But talk to me about the science of something else, you know, like it's not going to soak in.
Right. It sounds like even like with your kids and your mom or their grandparents, you guys like to bake, and there's some influence your mom had in you in baking too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, my mom would bake cinnamon roll. I mean, she still does. She baked them all the time when we were little, and so that was something that I grew up around. Oh boy, and that was a recipe that was actually passed down from my dad's side for a long time, and then my mom put her own little spin to it. So, and then if we make them, we do our own little spin on them, But I like to add different flavorings to things and kind of change it up a bit and make it a little bit more our own.
Let me get this out.
Well, we're not going to get it out quite yet. But what we are going to do, let's see if the scones are cold. Yeah.
They're cool?
For the most part. So,
I
they're a little warm, but they're okay. It's okay to ice them when they're a little warm. Okay, let's not poke the chocolate though.
Okay.
Is that good? Is it good?
He poked the chocolate, buddy.
Okay, okay, that one's
Testing it, that's all. He's making sure everything's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, I put
Yeah, you did. Okay.
Every single one.
So hold on. This one will be yours, but let's put the icing on. So I just take my fork and you can kind of just squiggle it over. You want to get over here?
Mm-hmm. Hey, can I see the chocolate?
Yeah, let's. So
Is
this is messy, but that's okay.
it cool off?
For the most part.
Is the
It's a little warm still.
Can
Is there
I?
usually a drink that you like to pair your scones with?
It's messy.
A drink that I like to pair my scones with.
Tea, coffee, milk,
Coffee.
or others
Yeah, I
that
really like to do my
we haven't
coffee.
considered?
What?
Are other things that we might not have considered?
Coffee for sure is one that I like to pair it with. When I worked in one of the bakeries, we had a guy come in and he always had his scones with the jam and a cappuccino. That was his thing every week. So that was fun. That was something that he just really enjoyed. But I mean, if you really wanted to do like a dessert one, you could do like dark chocolate with a glass of red wine or something if you want to do a night one. You know, there's always that option. Huh. Yeah, so we just ice them and then you kind of let the icing sit and the icing will dry on its own. And then you can store it in an airtight container for, I would say, up to 3 days. I personally don't like to go more than 3. But just because it starts to become a little bit more stale. There we go.
Is there any way to revive them? Or if you know that for whatever reason you're not able to consume them all, is there a way to store them?
That is the
I would freeze them. Yeah, you can definitely freeze them. And then when you unfreeze them, you can put them in the, I don't have a microwave, so I don't know how that would go. But you could wrap them up in a wet paper towel maybe and put them in the microwave. But don't put the icing on if you're going to freeze them. I would put the icing on if you want to save some to freeze. But this dough also you can freeze the dough as well if you wanted to wait to bake them or bake half of them and bake them smaller, whichever. Is that good?
Yeah.
Oh, just look at it off the table.
That's awesome.
Is that good stuff, guys?
That's pretty much the final product.
Yeah. So your final product typically would look a little bit nicer, but that's okay. So just it's kind of like that.
Looks delicious.
Well, thank you. Let's see, guys. Does it taste pretty good?
Yep. Can I see
Oh,
the
jeez.
Okay. Just take the whole bite. Here. Take a small bite. Is that good, guys? They say it's pretty good.
Yeah, looks like it. I can tell in his face. He's like, yep.
Oh no, is it dripping? Oh no. That's not. No. That's okay. All right. Is that good
That's
stuff,
awesome.
guys?
I would actually, we're going to repost this, and we would love to see if you, your friends, your family, or neighbors are able to try this recipe. Try it out. If there's any questions that come up making it, feel free to message Emily. She's going to be on Facebook, Instagram. We're going to post that on where you can find her on the different pages. And yeah, we'd love to get the feedback from you guys. If you guys do use the recipe, make the scones, and how it turns out. Take pictures, post it online, do whatever so we can be able to see it.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
And I know, Emily, you're kind enough. There might be future webinars or future live sessions we can do just like this on different pastries, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So if there's a request for a certain pastry, definitely would be curious to know what people want to learn.
Cool. Awesome. Well, Emily, thank you so much for your time. Thank you and your family and Adam and the kids for being able to participate and allowing us into your home and baking with you guys. Hope you guys took away some good skills and just even learned a little more about Emily and Adam and their family. Definitely keeping Adam and his crew and the rest of the people serving us on the front lines against COVID-19 and the virus that we're fighting against, keeping them in our thoughts and prayers. So thank you so much for your service there. And if you guys do have any questions, you guys have any comments or certain pastries you guys want to get want to watch being done live, let us know, and we'll work on doing that for the upcoming weeks.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Emily. Thanks, guys. See you guys later.
You're hilarious. Bye.